Hello everyone, this is iGreekit YouTube channel. Today the date is 26th of January and as you can see the market is open almost half an hour. We are back and we're analyzing Wall Street 30. There was a moment overnight for those that saw my previous video. You saw that we had the retracement right there. The market tried to went, as I told you, I believed we're gonna have this lower part here would be tested again, and it was tested right there. It was tested right there. Overnight we have this movement here, and now we are again in the green territory. The market every day tries to make all-time high. If you go in a daily chart analysis, you can see that we open it a little bit. You're going to see that we are again in higher places. That's why I told you previously the other day, be careful with your short positions. If you want to trade something, trade only the retracements and bear in mind that only retracement can be tested right there. So now I opened right here a position. I opened at the 64. We are 68. We are about 4 or 5 pips profit, but of course this does not mean anything. My problem here is that in the 5-minute chart I see my Ichimoku cloud has changed its direction. As you can see, second span B is over second span A, which means we may have a downward movement. Of course I liked this one here, a double bottom, and of course this fractal here was higher than the previous fractal. We're above Teckensen, above Kijjensen, and I said let's make a try right here, because at this point I had the cloud breakout in the 5-minute chart. As you can see, here, here and here there was no meaning of you trying to have a long position. Always make your try right here over the Tekken Kijjensen, and the best thing of course is to do to be over the cloud. This is also more safe to do. This is the 30-minute chart here. So we had a retracement back there, we had a retracement right here. I expect, as you can see from a technical analysis point of view, we had higher lows, higher low, higher low, higher low, another higher low, and of course we had higher high here. There was smaller lower high, but again higher highs. This was when the market was closed, and now we had another higher high. It is interesting because the price action 30-minute has broken also the previous fractal. So now we have a higher high, and this is shown also by my zigzag indicator I use. The stochastic tells me that I have some room more to go to overbought territories. My stochastic in the 5-minute chart is about to break its regular action. As you can see, the regular action is up and down, up and down, up and down, but at this point here we expect maybe to stay a little bit more in overbought territories. My standard deviation has shown from this point right here, maybe from this candle or this one here, that the action is starting. Of course, sometimes it shows starting, goes down. That's why I told you nothing is for sure in the markets. You should always be careful and take the shot. But of course, have very tight stop loss. My stop loss will be, I think, the bottom of this candle right here at this point. Now we are maybe 10 pips profit. We have to be really cautious in these markets because, as you have seen yesterday, we have violent retracements. So there's no reason for you to keep this position here if you're playing short term like me. You need some very quick pips and then continue to find another spot, enter in the market. And of course this here troubles make me think some things. My Chiku span, this is the Chiku span as you can see here, which shows me where the price was 26 periods before. And as you can see, the Chiku span is over the price here. That means the market is moving. It's not staying in the same spot. For example, if we were here, you would see the Chiku span was in the middle of the previous candles. But at this point here, we're moving higher, but believe it or not, we're expecting some retracement back there. It is certain that we're expecting that retracement. Another important thing for you to bear in mind is that when you're trading with the charts, you don't care, because recently I heard a friend of mine, he's not a very experienced trader, but he tries, as many of us do. And he told me that the Wall Street market he told me it's extremely high. I cannot take a long position. It is as if he is trying to find the highest high so he can short it. And this has put him in trouble, as you can understand, because the market, try to be very careful. For example, at this point here, we are in the upper part of the Bollinger Band. We are above Kijun, Tekkenson, above the cloud. We have to be careful now. We may have a movement, a back movement, a kind of retracement. But if the price goes below Tekkenson, which is my first reminder of trend change, or if the price goes below Kijunson, we have to close our position. Because all the laughs, and when I mean by laughs I mean when the market is going long, can change really suddenly, as they did right here. And if you had, that's why I tell you sometimes I try to trade really small positions right now, because I want to test also my powers. I want to test my consistency. I want to test my mental power. Can I follow these things? And if I can, of course, my tradings here, my bet will change, will become higher in the next few months. But for now, we have to test ourselves in a real environment. What can we do? Here's another interesting thing I've seen, as I told you many times. When we have a higher high, for some reason the market wants to retrace. But we'll see. I expect at least a fractal right here before it goes down. If it doesn't do that, then we don't have a trend, and the market just goes up and down. here shows that we are not in a really good trend. I like my Fibo lines here because my Fibo line says we are above the rumbling here of the Fibo lines, so you're in a safe long territory. But everything can change at every moment, so we will expect and see the price action here. Hello guys, I'm back. As you can see, the Ichimoku cloud, the Kumo cloud here, told me before that be careful, there might be a downward movement because we move in more higher territories. As I've told you before, for some reason, the systems always, when moves higher, tries to make a retracement because it moves even higher. If we take the Fibonacci retracement right here, you will see something quite amazing once more, that we did a higher high here and we retraced. We are speaking of the closure from 61.8, and this was my last stop loss position. Some of you may say, why didn't you close your position at this point here? I usually try to see the closure of my candle before I make any decision. That's very important. When I saw that it went like 20-30 pips down, but it retraced right away, I understood that, and I needed a fractal. I needed to see one fractal, and when I saw the fractal that was formatted right here, and this fractal is a higher low than this one here, I feel that we go up. We're still going up right here. That's why it is very important for you not to make very quick judgments. For example, if you had an expert advisor here, that's the one I had, the expert advisor would open the spot right here, would sell here, would open here based on the Kijun-sen crossovers. You can try that, the crossover, the Kijun-sen, but believe me, there will be few earnings, because when the market will consolidate, when it go like this, there will be a lot of spots of a lot of trades, open and closed trades, false signals right there. We entered at this point here. The cloud, as I've told you many times, if you're a Fibonacci trader, the cloud is showing you exactly what the Fibo lines show you also. And this was a nice resistance right here. It was a nice support. And this is another support that is formatted right there. We had our retracement. Now I believe the market can continue moving on. If we see a fractal somewhere here, I believe I will close my position, because this means that now we are consolidating for good, because we have a higher low, but we're going to have a lower high, which is something that I don't want at this point. So in order to be very cautious, if we have it seems that we may have a turn right here in the next candle. If this doesn't move on, it means that we will be consolidating, and we have to be really careful about keeping our position. Another important aspect here is also the stochastic sometimes may help you make some decisions. For example, if you were a Fibo trader, you would put your buy position right here, stop loss somewhere here in the middle of the 61.8 and 78.6, and then you would see your move going pretty well. We had over right here of the signal line, the main and the signal line of the stochastic. So I'm still holding. As you can see, we had even one small step here for me is good enough and shows me that the market wants to move one even higher at this point. Try to analyze your graphs, try to analyze what you see in your at this point we have a higher high right here, but I believe there's going to be a retracement every time you see this. Every time I've seen this, there always has been a retracement. I hope it's not too big. Okay, that was a very violent movement right there. And let's see, that is 64.94, that's 30 pips. Okay, now I'm going to chase it. I don't want to miss it like yesterday. But I need a kind of support somewhere. Let's see. I need a support because it may retrace all the 30 pips, and it's a nice start. 30 pips is a really nice start. Right here, it is retracing. I need another candle so I can put a stop right there to justify my closure. Of course, the best closure, and maybe I will think of it, the best closure is my Tekken. I like closing on the Tekken where is a profit, but as you can see there is a big difference in the price of the Tekken and the price of the market at this time. So I will wait. I wait a candle. I wait my next candle here and see what I will do. Hi guys, we are back. As you can see, today is a really tough day. If you're using the 30-minute chart, maybe it's not so tough, but using the 5-minute chart, as you can see, we had a very long dips right there, but the retracement were exactly when the Fibos were. We had a 61.8 retracement, and now I took this one here, the next higher, and there was a 50% retracement. So as you can see, the markets go to all-time highs and retraces. That's why I told you before maybe I should have closed my positions about 30 pips that gave me the market before, but instead I kept my position until I saw the next fractal. And as you can see, today we're using the Ichimoku. The Ichimoku on the 30-minute system is really bright. As you can see, we have a nice second span is above second span B. Of course, there's a slight turn here. I believe this will go higher here. And you know, any technology you have is applied to every time frame. The highs and the lows here, the fractals applies also right here, as you can see. I like this fractal right here. It was higher than the previous low. I have a higher high here. So now I'm expecting the next movement of the market. If this goes even higher, this time I may think of closing it, but the best thing is to find a lower fractal before you close your position. If the market makes a small fractal right here, I will think really seriously of closing my position right there. But until I see a fractal lower than this one here, I think I will keep my position and we'll see where the market will go. We'll talk back later in a minute. Hi guys, we are back. As you can see, we had the formation right here of a lower fractal, and this of course makes us a little bit anxious about closing our position. I like being in the in the 30-minute time frame. I enjoy being on the upper part of the Bollinger Band. That means that the market is trying to go even higher. As you can see here, whenever this line is touched, you should be really careful with your short positions. But here we had our fractal right there, which was a nice one. It was about 50%. This means we have a higher low, but now we have a lower high. That means that the market may consolidate from this point, may go like this, or may turn right down, making a lower fractal. And sometimes I've seen this movement here. For example, they make a lower fractal, but they only want to fool you, and then it continues back up. But now we have to be really cautious. Our stop loss, I think our take profit should be somewhere here, because we had 2 times 30 pips right there. It came back again, but now we have to wait what the market is doing. I don't like this candle here. This is a 30-minute candle. As you can see, this one here is engulfing all this one here. And this candle didn't make it going higher than the previous one. And this makes me think a lot of things, like maybe this candle here becomes a nice red candle, which be engulfed by this one here, in which case this means that the market has stopped moving. So it will go up and down and make that movement. Our Kumo cloud here is quite thin, which means we have not great resistance right there, but here it's quite thick, and this one here, the turn that we saw before, could apply to the theory I have that maybe this one here becomes a great red candle being engulfed by the previous one, so the market has stopped moving. Let's see what happens, and I'm prepared at this time to close it somewhere here, unless my price action goes above this fractal here, which is a nice thing to do with that. That means that the market wants to move in higher territories. My Fibonacci lines here are formatted really nicely, and they're telling me you're on trend. My lines here, as you can, my highways are free, which means all time frames are above in a trending position, except the 1 minute time frame. I don't like, when I started trading, of course I was a 1 minute trader, but it was really tough. It was really tough because I was trying to chase the market, and in a 1 minute time frame, believe me, there are tremendous fractals. So the market say, I'm going like this, I'm going like this, and this makes you really anxious about chasing the market. As you can see, it's a really messed up thing. I don't want to see that very much. So the theory now, I like this gap here. I've told you many times, when the market is gapping, at some point, maybe immediately or maybe after a while, this gap will be closed. So if we had a gap, I think we have a gap right there. If I remember correctly, the close was 47, and this one here had a low 47.5. So this gap here at some point will be filled. This one is about to be filled, and this makes me a bit anxious because the market may try suddenly to go to this gap right here and close it, and then continue up or down, whatever the movement will be. As you can see, the market is struggling, but I see no upper movement. Maybe we have touched the sky for today, and a retracement may be more logical. So I will be ready to close my position and taking my 20 pips. A small profit, but believe me, better than a loss. Let's wait a little bit. Hello guys again. As you can see, this fractal here showed us that the market has no strength at this point going even higher, and as soon as I saw that we were below Tekensen, I closed my position somewhere here at 81. I think it was 64. Like I think it was a 50 pips profit right there. It doesn't matter if we went until up here. Remember, you have to follow some rules in order to succeed in the market. So it's best to follow these things because it may have gone even higher. But my long position, the thesis of chasing the market has not stopped at this. If I see a fractal here formated, I will start thinking about going long again. But I strongly believe that we must close this thing here. I believe we must close the 47. We could try here at this point, we could try going short. Let's try it. And our stop will be right here somewhere at the Tekensen. It's not the best thing to do. As I said, I don't like shorting when I'm above Kijjensen, when I'm above the middle line, but as you can see, we're going below the middle line right here. So we did extremely well in closing our position. And let's see if we're going to go again at the 61.8. My theory here is almost completed. As I told you before, this candle here, I didn't like it so much. I wanted it to move even higher. It didn't do that. So we may come somewhere here, closer here, which means that at this point the market does not want to move higher. But this does not mean that it won't. My stochastic also has changed its direction, as you can see. I will believe at 25 pips I will try to take my profit. The position is opposite 17.3. We are now 10 pips. Let's see. Be careful also with this. Here there are strong resistance levels, support levels, So we broke the 38.2. We're going towards 50, but again this area here will be tested. You should have been warned yourself from this thing right here. And this is something important about the markets. You always have time, you always have a second chance, but if you try to sell right here, try to be really careful, because the market will test again that high. In this high, the high was tested, was not completed, was not above the high one, so the market was going sideways here, and at one point it broke down. I'm expecting to go right here, or another idea is to start a retracement. As you can see, let's have our Fibo in the right place. As you can see, 30. Oh, this was really nice. The candle was engulfed. Maybe we don't have much room to go lower right now. We have a bigger, a smaller candle, a more small candle than previous. This is something that I've seen many times. That's why I told you from this point here that I believe we're going sideways. But again, we have to be very careful, because the market has a really strong uptrend, which means at every time it can do a really strong movement. I'm going to have my look here also on the stochastic. If there is a crossover, I will definitely think of closing my short position right here. But the best place for me will be to close it at the 61.8. Another important thing for you to see is that the support of the 50% retracement was touched exactly. It's amazing. It was tested right here. It was tested again. So if we see a fractal right here, we should close immediately our position, because this fractal will be higher than the previous one. That means that even we have a lower high, we have a high high in the lower fractals. Let's see what the market will do. Hi guys, we're back. As you can see, there was a fractal right here. I had opened my position somewhere there, so I decided at the time the market broke this fractal here, I decided that I don't want to go against the market, so I closed my position with minus 1 or 2 pips. That's a very decent thing to do, and I saw a possible uptrend right here. The fractal is broken. I need this one here to be broken also, and then we may have an uptrend and make some pips there. But I want to make my loss here, so I will close at 15 pips maybe, this position there. It is interesting because as you see here, the 50% retracement was tested 2 times, and I had a gap right here which should be filled, which made me think that the market may have gone there, but as I told you, the gap doesn't mean that it will be filled at this day. Maybe in Monday the market will go towards this position right here. Now we have to wait and see. I don't like this one here. It reminds me of the cone system. If you are aware of the cone system, is when every other, especially seen mostly in the 30 time frame, when every other candle is engulfed by the previous one, which means the market is staying in the same spot and doing nothing. Again, my stop losses here will be really tight. I don't want to lose more than 2 or 3 pips there, and we'll wait if we're going to have another movement upwards. We'll be see in a little while. Hi guys, we are back. As you can see, we have succeeded another all-time high right here. You see, sometimes you have to change your direction, and of course, as I told you before, I didn't like that movement there, but I tried it. I closed it minus 2 pips, but at this point here I saw that the market did a double bottom. Can you see this one? Did a double bottom, and this double bottom gave this movement right there. I really don't like when we do an all-time high, because the market usually retraces back, and I'm thinking right now of closing this position. Let's see. I need another candle to make my decision. If my other candle goes above this one, then I can wait a little bit. At this point we are at 82. We are about 20 pips. It's a 20 pip profit. There are many times today that we lost, like here, 30 pips, another 20 pips. So if you're a short-term trader, the best thing you could do is, when another all-time high is exceeded, that you have to try to think maybe you should close your position. And my stochastic here in the 5-minute says that I like to go down now, but as we can say, we have said before, there are many times we can stay in the overbought positions like this. I also like in my Kumo system here that the Chiku span is above this area right here, which means that the price is moving, and of course we are above the cloud now that is formated is a little bit thicker, which means that our supports are more important right now. We are in the 30-minute, everything is above the Kumo cloud, above the Tekkensen, above the Kijunsen, the upper part of the Bollinger Band. So this cone here, this cone, which means that the market went sideways for 2 hours maybe, now decided to move further. And of course in the 30-minute we have the breaking of this fractal here, which is also a nice thing to see. Now I need another high so I can wait before I close this move. Okay, we have another high right there. We have a kind of movement right now. We should really think in 30 or 40 pips. We should think about taking that profit, but we have to wait the market giving us another sign. This is another red candle that I don't like really very much, because I've seen this story many times today. We break the high, we retrace. Here of course was a place where we could not break that, but as I told you before, you have to be careful, but this means many things and means nothing. Means many things if the market wants to go down to change the trend, and means nothing because there are many times the market tries to tell you that I'm changing the trend, but instead of that it makes another high movement. I'm going to watch it really carefully right now because I want to take that profit, even a small one, and I will let you know what I did. Hi guys, I'm back. As you can see, the market is making new time highs here. I was thinking, if at this point, if I see another candle right there, this means a fractal will be made at this point. So I really think of closing my position there, taking 20-25 pips profit, because I believe that this fractal will mean that we're going to have a retracement. But I have to wait the other candle right there. As you can see, we're testing the 500 level, 26,500 level right now. So it is probable that we're going to, and my stochastic has changed its direction, it's probably going to have a retracement right there. So there's no need for you to lose even 20 pips as we did previously. I'm still holding my position. My 30-minute stochastic is telling me that we have some more room there. My Tekun Sen also tells me wait a little bit. My Kijun Sen tells me there's no trend change, and as you can see here, these levels of support work extremely well, because the price went almost there at 50 and 61.8 retracement and made a nice double bottom and then decided to move higher. If this candle goes above this one, this means that the market will try to move even higher. We'll see in a little while. Okay guys, as you can see, a fractal appeared right here, but I have to be really cautious right now. I think I will put a stop loss at take profit at 500, because if this candle goes over this spot right there, this fractal will disappear and the market will say I'm going even higher, but I'm seeing some movement downwards. So at the 500 I think I will close my position. I will have to wait this suspicious movement here. I say suspicious because we may have a violent movement upwards, which may, it seems as if the market wants to make us close our position at this point. So I'm waiting this candle here. If it comes even lower, then I will close my position with whatever the profit is. But I really want this candle to cross this place right here, because it will show me that we have some more room in the uptrend. The 30-minute chart looks pretty well. The Tekun Sen and Kijun Sen is very far. The Chiku span also is in quite nice place. The future here, second span A and second span B, are making a really, really deep, thick cloud, which is something nice. Okay. We have to be ready here. For some reason, I believe that the market wants to keep the 26,500 pips. It wants to keep that price for psychological reasons, but it can break it whenever it wants. So maybe I would like to see a price about 530. It is something that is seen quite often. This is something that makes me suspicious again, because as you can see, our stochastic show us that the closures of these candles are lower. Okay, let's be ready here. And wait you see, when you're chasing the pips, when you are a pip hunter, as some people say about me, this means that every profit is very valuable for you. You don't want to chase the whole market. You don't want to chase the whole uptrend. You need some really nice spots to enter. And believe me or not, I was thinking really hard here about closing my position before, because we would have taken 30 pips here. We would wait for the retracement and take another 20. This is the best scenario, but this is not an easy scenario, because if maybe we could have closed our position here and the market would go in higher. So you see, the fractal is formatted for sure right there. But if my candle here goes above it, we may have a nice upward movement. We still should be in hold and ready to close the position in order not to lose a lot of pips in the retracement the market will decide to do. Okay guys, as you can see, we had a movement above my fractal right there. To tell you the truth, I was ready to close my position at this red candle. If I showed another red candle, I would close that position for sure. But this is a nice, interesting move the market makes right now, because this fractal is broken, so we expect a higher movement. We are doing all-time highs. That means that we can retrace at any time and lose all our profit right there. Even now, we are now at about 82, like 40, 35, 40 pips. But we have to find a nice spot to leave the market. Deep inside, I feel that this is too early to leave the market, but as I told you, I'm a day trader, which means I don't like leaving my positions, whether it is overnight. I did it last night, but if it is a weekend, the stress is even bigger, because we have seen, and I have seen my account many times being blown at weekends when you cannot do anything at all. So you have to be really careful about leaving your positions. There are many many things are done during the weekends. So why leaving openly your position like that? This is a nice channel that is formatted right here. If you like the channels, then you may have almost a vertical channel right there. You may draw this one here, but our trade is open really close to that, which means a red candle may be too late to close our position if we wait this trend line here to be broken. I will leave that as a reminder there. As you can see here, we had a really nice movement at 22 maybe. That was somehow close to the 30 I wanted. Maybe I should have closed that there, because my stochastic says to me that we're closing lower and lower again, but you have to be really careful with stochastic. It may be helpful sometimes, like here, and other times, like here, it shows the opposite way. But what matters when you are above, there's a nice strategy I've seen where you have to see just the dips of the stochastic. If you are above the Kumu cloud, just see the dips. For example, look right here. We had a dip, a crossover, we were above the Kumu cloud. Here you could have tried the long position. Here you could have tried also a long position. Right here was another long position you could have also tried. You see, it's a very nice strategy which I've thought of many times of doing this. But in 5-minute chart is quite, it may give you like 10 or 50 pips, so you have to be really fast in order to close that position somewhere there, to open that and long position, to close it there. And when I mean close it, do not short there because you're not so sure, because the stochastic may stay there for good in overbought levels and the price may go very, very high. So be careful when shorting above the Kumu cloud, whether it's in a 5-minute time frame or whether it's in 30-minute time frame. If you're above Kumu cloud, be careful with your shorts. Some will say, but yes, yesterday you opened some places right there. Yes, I wanted to test the retracements, this here, and I was sure I will not keep my position for long there. As you can see, we have a pin formatted right here. I don't like pins because pins make me think about trend change. So we are ready again to close the position right there. As you can see, the movement in this all-time highs, it's not so strong, because it's usual and it's logical if you think of it. Someone must push it even higher. So the steps that are done are really, really small at this point. My Fibonacci line says, okay, you can see here, there was a kind of retracement double bottom and gave us this movement here. We are out of the mess that our Fibonacci lines make. Okay, I'm gonna follow it really tight right now because I think this pin here may begin a retracement no matter what. Okay, the tension is tested right now, but I don't take any decisions until I see the candle close. I've seen many times taken, or Kijunsen, as you can see here. Kijunsen was tested. Here it closed below, but the next candle went above again. And this is the difficult part with the expert advisors I have used over the time, because they are so sensitive. They will do whatever you tell them to do. And because of that sensitivity, they open and close many trades that there, which gives you no profit at all, and most of the times there are some big losses, because if you sum up many small losses, you will gonna have a nice one, a big one. I think we're going to close below taken send right there, so maybe now it's time to say goodbye to this trade. Of course, this stochastic here make me think that if this is the down movement, what will be the upper movement? Okay, as you can see, we have a channel break there. Okay. We have a fractal formated right there, which means the market went until there and said, I'm going to make a small U-turn again. But it shows no sign of a big retracement. That's why I'm still keeping this position. Of course, this pin here is making me a little bit anxious. But you have to be careful and watch everything you see. We have a smaller position right here. So if we see another candle here, this would be a nice, another fractal. Fractal up there, fractal over here. It's making U-turns all the time. And now it's more complicated because the two ways are equally stressed. I don't like this one here in 30 minutes. The breaking of this nice channel here. But the market at this time can equally retrace a lot. I don't know if that depends on how many people have gone long and short at this point. And of course it can make a nice retracement until this place here. Don't forget that, because at some point this gap here must close. Seeing this market here, I feel it will be in Monday, but I've seen many times, as you can see here, many times the market decided to make a nice and a very, very long retracement. And as you can see from my Fibonacci lines here, if we make replace the new high right there. You can see that this gap is somewhere close to the 61.8 retracement, which is something possible. Okay, now we have another fractal here. We're playing with we are over the hills right now. We're over the top. We are in the tip of the iceberg. So you're going to see fractal ups and down until the market decides to make a strong movement. I still believe we may have a movement close to 530. Oh, okay, 530 was almost there. To 540, 550. We may see that, but my take on now should be considered a very strong indicator about closing my position, because it will show me that the market is beginning to decline. This decline was also seen here, but remember, we're still on the higher part of the Bollinger Band, and many people know that this is a buy signal. No matter what you do, just buy. Find the dips and buy, like here, 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 and there. Okay, my take on right now you see the market, it's pretty clever. It makes a nice sideways movement right here, makes an all-time high, comes back, and now we have two fractals. If our movement was somewhere here or here, I will certainly put my stop at the Kijunson, or at least at this fractal right here. You see, trading needs you to be calm and to have clarity, as I've told you in the previous videos, and to be very open and calm, and because this is the only way you can win something like this. If we're stressed right now, oh my God, I'm going to lose one pip, or I'm taking one pip. This stress thing that you do to yourself, there are many traders out there that they keep trading like 10 hours or 15 hours or over the night. They may trade the Japanese index, they may trade everything, but believe me, when you're tired, you will do the most amazing mistakes, and if you see yourself afterwards, you will say, why did I do that? The answer is simple, because you were tired. You have to be very relaxed when trading, and of course many of you will be trading out of need, something that means that you may need some profit, but believe me, at that time you lose big. You've seen many movies, or many people, friends, families, known people, that when they are in need, they do the biggest mistakes of their life, and they lose even the last penny they have. Be careful when trading with the money, be careful when you're playing at a casino. This is the only thing I can tell you right now. And find a nice strategy, whether is it in a casino, whether is it in the trading system. I believe there's a big difference between casino and the markets. Some people may say that it's the same thing, you're a gambler. Maybe that's true at some point. Maybe we're gambling, but we have some things, some charts, some indexes to rely on. Something that is missing from a casino, because there the 100% is only luck. Of course here luck plays a nice, it is important also, because for example I could have closed my position there and trade back here. That would be a lucky one, because you never know if it can continue upwards or downwards. As you can see here, the Tekkensen is tested really hard. And we have to wait a little bit. Maybe we see a small double bottom and then it continues again. Remember that technical analysis is applied even to 1 minute time frame. That's why I told you last night that all time frames are extremely tuned. They work so fine, so tuned. This makes me think, how can this be done? No human can do this, which means that the machines have taken the place of the human and they are in charge. They are given, of course, some advices by humans of what to do, but after that they are in charge and they do whatever it is needed. So every time frame must look neat and clean. And you will see it here, you will see it right here, you will see it at the 1 hour chart, which is close to the 30 minute. You will see that 4 hour chart. You see retracement. That's why I told you, play your own chart, play your own time frame. All these things apply to everything, but if you have a small account like me, you cannot play the bigger time frame, because the retracement may be so big for your small account that it will definitely blow it. So, depending on your account, you may have more possibilities of playing bigger time frames. As you can see here in the 30-minute time frame, the Tekkensen is is far away from the price. So many people, a nice place to enter was right about here. Another one was here. Another one was here that was broken this fractal right here. So you see, there are many places, many good trades you could have made, but you have to keep in mind that the success will come at some point if you follow some very specific rules. Choose an indicator. I have chosen the Ichimoku system because I think it's the best system out there right now. After all, this Japanese journalist made it, it took him about 30 years of developing this system, which means that he may have struggled nights and days to make it more perfect. But this Kumo cloud, I think is his best contribution, because when you're not when you're a new trader, the problem is that you don't know what to do. Should I go short? Should I go long? And you make a lot of mistakes of going short or long without knowing why you did that. I remember when I started trading, I would see on a daily chart a movement close to like here for example, and I would say, oh, the market is going up right now, let's trade that. And I would trade that. I was expecting the higher movement, but I had no idea about stochastic or anything else, about retracement, about Fibonacci retracement, about the trend, about the Ichimoku system. And then I saw a movement like this. And I said, oh my God, let's close with the loss here and follow the market. And the same thing happened again and again. I would enter every time in the worst price I could find there, until I got an idea. Some really nice people helped me with that, show me a path, show me some very few indicators, very few things that I could follow. This is what you should do again if you're a new trader, and I will tell this again and again. These videos are made specifically for new traders, because I believe they are left alone out there, and I would like someone to have helped me when I was starting trading. Someone to have shown me some very few things, so as not to do really bad, terrible trades. So if you're an experienced trader, maybe you already know what to do, maybe you already know how you can make a lot of pips, but a new trader, I think, and I believe that these videos may be valuable for them and help them at some point of their life. Okay, as you can see, the Takensen is not left, but I have another fractal right there, which shows me that the market is trying to make maybe some resistance there, to put some resistance, but if that is broken, it means that we may test new higher levels. Okay, we'll wait a little bit and see what the market will decide to do. As you can see, hello guys again. As you can see, the market is unstoppable. We have succeeded in our all-time high right here. The price was struggling with Takensen. The Kijunsen tells us we are far away from trend change, but of course we have to protect our profit right there. This fractal was broken, this fractal is now broken because we have another all-time high or just high. My Fibo lines are continuing. Of course, as you can see, the movement is really slow. This movement here was really slow. I'm a little bit concerned about my standard deviation right here, which tells me that I don't have a very strong trend right now. of course, the standard deviation on the 5-minute chart, because if you're trading on the 30-minute chart, you will see that your standard deviation there is extremely high. As I told you before, the 30-minute stochastic told us that you have some more room, more space to go higher, and this is what was done. Maybe we should be careful at this point right now. As you can see, I cannot close we are about 40 pips right now, but I cannot close my position before I see a strong movement, so I can understand that we are in the retracement. The Chico span is away from everything, but is heading toward right here. So you see we have a nice, we make all-time highs, so it's usual the next candle to be red. And the 30-minute time frame shows that the upper part, the upper Bollinger Band is not left by the price action, which is a strong buy signal right here. But my Tekken, I will follow it really hard here. If I see the price going below that and staying there, we must take our profit. We'll speak in a little while. Hello guys, as you can see, our Tekken was compromised, so the only thing that I was thinking of was the gap that it left right there, but I think at this point I'm going to see the closure of this candle. Our channel here is broken. You see sometimes we were at 40-45 pips, but sometimes you cannot achieve that best position to live. You see the Kijunsen was tested right here, which is a nice thing, but we have a gap right there, which means that it should be filled. You see the markets usually make this kind of movements. Everything goes nice and easy, but at some point, someone pushes a button and you see a violent movement, a violent retracement, or everything like that. I'm following it. If we go close to this gap, I think it will be a nice place to close our position, because I think now we're playing with the fire. Maybe this movement is made to frighten some people. Of course, we need a lower fractal somewhere here in order the market to make a nice turn downwards. But again, remember that what we say is not for sure, which means that the market can always break. As you can see, we are now in the Fibo mesh. We are below the middle line of the Bollinger Band. So you see, now there's a very dangerous place to be. Our zigzag said that I see this downward movement, so be careful there. Of course, a nice scenario would be this thing here to be just a really small retracement, and as you can see, it did a 23.6 retracement, and if that is true, we may see another high here. It is very interesting. You should always put some Fibo lines on your charts. You know the Kumo cloud is there, but put some Fibo so you can understand more about the movement of the market. Okay guys, we're back. Unless this is the beginning of a great upper movement, this is our second chance of closing our position. As you can see, I told you that there was a gap there that needs to be filled. About 1780, I don't remember. Let's see. The closer at 518, so at 518 there's a gap that needs to be closed, and I don't like this red candle here in the 30-minute. We should really think about closing our position right now, because I believe we are on the top of the top. Of course, for some reason I expected a very violent upward movement, but it hasn't come yet. That's why this retracement here has two thinkings, two possibilities. The first is, this is the last retracement and we're going back down and down until we close this gap somewhere here. And of course, we need 518. Let's see, I think we didn't succeed that. Yes, we need 518 so we can close this gap here and move higher. The problem is that the Bollinger Band is getting really tight right here, is constricting, which means the trend, as in the standard deviation, as I told you before, we don't have a very strong trend right now, at least at the 5-minute chart. We went back up away from the mesh of the Fibo lines right here, which is something good. And this red candle here may, if the market wants to continue even higher, it can easily be changed into a green candle. But in order not to lose so much pips, because as you can see, if I see a fractal somewhere here, like this one here, it's a sign that you should close your position, at least for now, and wait for new signals. Okay guys, as you see, this was a nice place we should have thought of closing our position there, but I thought we may had the movement upwards. And now a fractal is about to formate it right there, so if I see that little thing right there, I will definitely close the position. We are struggling with the Tekken-sen, we're struggling with the midline of the Bollinger Band. This market seems to be in a horizontal line right now. And this red candle here seems to stay that way. It will stay red, and maybe we're going to have the start. So if the candle comes right here, we're going to have another fractal, unless it goes above the higher, above the previous higher. You see, sometimes it's really difficult to make that decision, but you have to let your grid out of this. This might be seem like a double bottom. Someone may see it like a reverse shoulder, head, and maybe a shoulder for a nice movement upwards. Or the market may say, okay guys, this was my last high for today. We have to be really careful. Okay, as you can see, the movement is quite violent. Okay, we went, you're testing the Kijunsen right now. I won't say 96 was the lowest, and here 97. You see, we are one step above this fractal right here. Sometimes these small things are the important things, as right here. We had a double bottom, and then the market changed his mind and went even higher. This seems to me like another nice double bottom. Believe me guys, in every time frame the same rules apply. Whether it's a double bottom or whether there is about the candlestick, you know, the rules that we say in every chart apply also to this here. So now we are below Tekken-sen. I think it's time for us of course there is a small gap right here, which means the candle will go at some point there. So we have a fractal here formated. Our Fibo line 23.6 is tested again and was not lost. But here we have a fractal formated. As you can see, we have a, you can read it whatever you want. This is the worst thing about these things, that you can read the head, shoulder and head here, or you can read the reverse shoulder, head, shoulder right there. The worst thing is that we now are below, are in the mesh of the Fibo line, are below the middle part of the Bollinger Band, so the market can easily make a really strong retracement and even test the 61.8, which is this gap here, interestingly enough. So the gap here is closed, but this fractal here isn't broken. I think he's at 96, 496. My logic here says that this here is broken, this channel here, but we also need a retracement there. And the worst part about the retracement in 30 minutes is they're very, very far away. So the Kijunsen is keeping us alive at this point. I think the market may have stopped thinking about upward trend right now. Of course, this is something that is seen most of the time. You see the market flattening, but at some point it wakes up when you are tired and sleeping, and it makes a really, really hard and nice movement which you lose. I think this 500 here, 26,500 is the market is trying to keep that. It wants that to keep, but of course it may mean nothing. But it's a psychological level, of course. Hello again, guys. As you can see, this candle here closed red, but now it looks as if the market wants to make another big movement. Of course, we now have to think about, I don't like my standard deviation, which shows me there is no movement at all. So this might be a nice spot of closing our positions right here. As you can see, the Bollinger Bands have no meaning at all at this point. I think, let's see, the high 522, high 523, we broke this fractal right here, which is a nice thing. But again, this market is consolidating. This is a really flat line that we see at this point. This flat line is seen by this here. And as you can see, there are up and down violent movements. The time has passed. We went below the mesh, but now the price is above the mesh again. This thing is leaning a little bit down, which, as you can see, went higher, 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 and now we went lower. Let's see if we're going to have another fractal here, showing us that this was the top for today. Hi guys, as you can see, the market makes no movement at all. It's kind of dead at this point. I'm starting getting really tired with this, mentally and physically. So we should put a stop somewhere here, taking the profit, whatever profit we have. And of course, on a long term, it seems that the market wants to go even higher, but I believe this may be done after it closes, because sometimes the market decides to move at new layers and new levels when it closes it and makes the movements for those who decide to stay overnight or over the weekend. Something that I told you before that is something that I don't like really much, because everything can happen and destroy your work, your very careful work, because you don't have the ability of changing your mind over the weekend. So it's not a very good place to start trading. But of course many people believe in the upward trend or believe in a move, so they don't have any problem of letting their positions open. One thing that you can do is, of course, to put a stop loss or a take profit if you decide to do such thing. As you can see here, we have this is a lower fractal, this is a higher fractal by 1 pip, I think. The same applies here. So you understand that the market is going really, really slow at this point. That's the purpose of this here, of the Chiku span, and the purpose of the standard deviation is exactly what you see. From this point right here, which means somewhere here, the standard deviation showed no sign of life. This was telling us that the market is not trending at all. But if you see here, from this point right there, the market made a movement. Okay, we have a formation of another fractal right there. This is the new candle. We have a fractal down here, which is interesting because the market says I'm going down, but then they change their mind. That's why I'm telling you I believe we may have some more upward movement. Concerning the indicators, as you can see here, we have a crossover in the stochastic, which may ruin some longs there. And the market at some point will retrace. Maybe this level here, but these three levels are very important, so you can trade them if you like Fibo alone without noticing the Kumo cloud or the Kijunsen and Tekkensen together. To tell the truth, we have one more hour, one more trading hour. I was expecting a movement somewhere close to 550. I think the market now is testing this high here, which was 526. and we went until 5:24 until now. Okay. I really don't, and I believe most of traders hate it when the market moves like 1 pip every minute. And I've seen many players, many traders losing their temper during these sessions, and it's something, of course, that makes them lose a lot of money, because there's no need of losing your temper over these things. You have to watch the market. You can do nothing about pushing it higher or lower. If it is not trading and there is no trend, you should just wait. If I wasn't from this point here, if I hadn't gone long, I would for sure closed my computer a long time ago in order to avoid this inconvenience and this frustrated feelings that you may have sometimes. So the best thing for you is to try to find a market that is moving. Sometimes I go over the comment sections and I read many people saying that the market is manipulated, the market is going higher and we're waiting for short things and stuff like that. I believe the best thing for you is to, if the market is moving, go with it and take some pips. Why arguing about if the market is going up or down, or the economy of a country it's not so good, so as to justify these movements? We don't care about that things. Let the politicians care about that things. We just care about movement. Okay, as you see, we had a higher 35 there, and we have another all-time high, and this thing here will be my stop for today. Okay, 30, 29, 30, 32. I think I got the 32. Maybe the market will try to go even higher at this point, but I believe that it always retraces. Of course, someone will say this fractal here is broken, so maybe you didn't do it right. I think we had like 32 from 82, that's 50 pips right there. Not bad at all. And of course we had like 10 or 15 pips previously somewhere here. So we're closing our day today with 65 pips. Thank you all for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel so we can continue making these live videos for you, so you can start and using whatever tool you feel is useful for your trading. Have a nice night.